Embarking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you ain't going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. Because dog don't back and back up, no way. Come on. The only time we can start backing is when the car start moving. Hey, I say, dog don't back and back up, no way. Boy, she thinks she better than people. The only time we can start backing when the car start moving. That's true, but people do, you know. I know you're trying to figure out exactly what I mean. My friend, listen carefully. Let me explain. See, everything is cool when you're going along with the groove. Yeah, but like we say, dog, everything cool, eh? But when you're trying to make a movie, when you get mad at you, why people don't want to see you do good? You know that? Because dog don't back and back up, no way. Scalabot, yeah, they get rich and switch. The only time they can start back in when the car start moving. Scalabot, come on, let's go. Dog don't back and back up, no way. No way. The only time they can start back in when the car start moving. Here we go. Now this one for them barking dogs, for everyone who got people waters running. For them riding dogs, Scully boat, sculling. For them barking dogs, they talking about you. Mash it. But they even know what they talking for. Scully boat, sculling. For them barking dogs, mash the boat, mash it. Don't feel bad. That is happening to everybody who trying to get somewhere. Check this. For them barking dogs. You met this thing going on before your life began, and you're sure gonna leave it behind when your life ends. So don't be no fool worrying about when people talk about you, cause most of the time they're wishing they could be in your shoe. I say, dog don't back and back up, no way. Scalabot. The only time we can start back in when the car start moving. Oh, I say, dog don't back and back up, no way. Scalabot. The only time we can make some noise when the car start moving. I say, dog don't back and back up, no way. Scalabot. The only time we can make some noise when the car start moving. I say, dog don't back and back up, no way. The only time we can make some noise when the car start moving. Scalabot.
Hey, Ryland Sweet, eh? When I was on the island, everything was fine. All the things we did on the morning blew my mind. Even the horseback riding and snorkeling round the reefs. Man, it feels like paradise as I walk the beach. Harbour Island is where I want to be. Harbour Island, lots of things to see. Harbour Island, I've got sand in my shoe. Harbour Island, lots of things to do. Record scratch, y'all. It was the first time on the island, and it was so cool. When that lady walked the beach, all the men they drew. French cut, G-string, all of that in one. I am having so much fun, I hope it never done. Harbour Island, I'm having a real good time. Harbour Island, everything is fine.
Harbour Island,
lots of things to see.
Harbour Island,
fun for you and me. Oh yeah. Out here on the beach where I met a tourist gal, standing in the surf, her feet down in the sand. I'm having a pretty good time, she said, out here on the shore. I got sand in my shoes and I ain't going on no more.
Harbour Island
is where I want to be.
Harbour Island,
lots of things to see.
Harbour Island,
I got sand in my shoes.
Harbour Island,
lots of things to do.
Nobody ain't getting none of this. That's good for ya, that's good for ya. Riding is in the mix. We're going down. Nobody ain't getting none of this. That's good for ya, that's good for ya. Riding is in the mix. Hey.
When I was on the island, everything was fine. All the things we did on the money blew my mind. Even the horseback riding and stomping round the reefs. Morning feels like paradise as I walk the beach.
Harbour Island
is where I want to be.
Harbour Island,
lots of things to see. On the beach, in the street. Come on this island, be in the sun every day. With these girls I gotta play all the time. Sunshine, girl, I got you on my mind. Oh yeah, I got big tan on my feet. Lots of dancing in the street, yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh yeah. On the beach, in the sand.
Harbour Island,
oh yeah.
Harbour Island,
so much things to see.
Harbour Island,
thinks of you.
Harbour Island,
I got sand in my shoes.
Harbour Island,
lots of things to do.
Harbour Island,
on the beach, in the street.
Harbour Island.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Time for some skullin' music, man. Well, it's me again. Hey, hey, hey. All right, Mr. C. Hey, hey, hey. Aye. All right. Play it again. Driving home from work the other night, I saw you kiss a Johnny girl, that ain't right. So tell me, how could you do that? How could you do that? How could you do that to me, girl? You cheated on me, sleep with Johnny. How could you do that to me? I wanna know, how could you do that?
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant. Another beautiful day in the land of the living. Grateful to be with you. I know you want to talk, but everything. I'm always grateful to be here and kind of jamming with you. There was a great deal of things that was happening last evening. I got some people that we're going to be able to have that kind of a good conversation tonight or today and really be able to kind of jam and talk to you about what's happening from a political standpoint. But before I get into that, I got to be able to shut up my good, decent people over at Crystal Select. Crystal Select. Ladies and gentlemen, Crystal Select premium drinking water in the Bahamas, East Street South. Make sure you give me a call, 325-1416. 325-1416 is locally bottled water. You want to be able to get something refreshing in your spirit. It's Christmas time. You want to be able to drink more than just eggnogs, praise God. Crystal Select. You want to be able to get that. Go, guys, check them out. Mr. Clark got some good stuff going on. As I was telling you, let me grab my good friend's bottle here. As I was telling you, pull me close. You could be able to change the label of your stuff. So if you're having a celebration, a birthday, an anniversary, a Christmas party, or your office anniversary party, and you want to put your logo on there, you want to put anything on there, you can do that with Crystal Select. All right, so go check them out. They're on East Street South. They got everything down there as relates to being able to do that and talk to you about those things. And also on the shelves now, the Realigner newspaper. Ladies and gentlemen, go down there. We're talking about the by-election. Yesterday was the advance poll for the by-election. You can be able to do that. The Realigner newspaper. We are telling you now that the advertisements start now, advertise now, get yourself prepared for the holiday season as we're moving into the Christmas time, the festive season. So everybody wants to be able to put a little advertisements out. It's going to be our year-end review. It's going to be a little thicker paper. And we're going to be talking about a great deal of things. We want you to be able to get involved. Talk about your company, talk about what you're doing, and we can be able to see some things happen as we continue to be able to move forward, upward, onward, and together. Now, in the studio with me today, really being able to talk to us about Kanaz, I had an opportunity to be able to host this event and be a speaker at this event over the past few years. This is Kanaz Bahamas. We have everything available for you. Give me the full shot. Give me the Kanaz full shot, right? Kanaz Bahamas, I got everything available for you. You can be able to see that. Guys, this is a beautiful thing. My very good friend, Ambassador Devin Roll, he's going to be the conference host and being able to talk to you about that and tell you everything that's going to be going on between the 20th and the 22nd, November 20th to the 22nd. If you want to find out more information, you can dial that number. One of y'all can see that? Who's wearing glasses? I can't see that. What's the number?
323 5907 or 322
3343. I can't see it. Y'all. Praise God. Look at that. 322-3343. Praise God. Right? Or you can be able to hit them up on those particular things. Yeah. So it's going to be at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. That's how it's going to be? So you're going to be holding right there. Okay. It's going to be there. Well, in the studio with me today, being able to talk to us about that, as you can see, all the hosts and everyone who's there with us, who's going to be there being able to talk to these particular things. Dr. Chris Walker, all the way down from South Carolina, or North Carolina?
Orlando, actually.
Orlando,
Yes,
Florida. Right? He's in the studio with us today, really being able to tell us about a great deal of things that's going to be happening. And Ambassador Devin Roll is definitely here. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
Well, good day, Bahamas and world. It's so good to be back on with my good friend Howard Grant, who is here daily impacting the nation in a positive light. And yes, I'm here to talk about KNAS today. KNAS is actually an acronym for Kingdom Invasion National Assignment Summit, which has been around now. The summit has been around for about 15 years. As a radio broadcast, we were around for some 5 years before that, and I was also doing something called a Kingdom Invasion service. So it's kind of evolved into a conference, and this year is really, really special because for the first time, the conference went global. We went to South Carolina, and we had a fantastic time in that experience. Dr. Chris Walker, who's here today, he was with us there, and he had a very, very powerful session dealing with crypto markets, forex trade, and it's different because we had church, but at the same time, we had a business leadership experience as well. And the same thing, we're back in the Bahamas this week, November 20th through the 22nd. We're going to be for the first 2 nights from 7 to 10 p.m. at the National Baseball Stadium. Yes, the baseball stadium. I was quite amazed myself, by the way, because they have a fantastic business foyer area that kind of doubles as a conference hall, and it holds hundreds of people. People who come this week are going to be pleasantly surprised if you've never been there before. So we're going to be there on the Thursday night, on the Friday night, and then the climax of the conference, which was really where Howard Grant, before he started going to California every year, where he made his big impact with us.
Don't even remind me.
Hosting and speaking at this event. Saturday, we go back to Sandals for the 3rd straight year in their ballroom. We are anticipating a lot of leaders, a lot of business persons. I'm hoping that even politicians, this is a political season in the Bahamas. I'm tuning in, and a lot is happening in terms of the political.
They're busy.
Yeah, but
They're on the ground.
They're on the ground. They're very busy. They're making their presence felt in this particular season. But I'm hoping the politicians come as well. What we're doing, we're dealing with every aspect of leadership. John Maxwell has long said that leadership is nothing more than influence. But this influence is very important because everything rises and falls upon the leader. What we are seeking to do, Howard, being inspired from what I call the modus operandi of Scripture, is Matthew 28, where Christ is about to leave, but before he leaves to go back to heaven, he says, all power in heaven and earth is given unto me. And the next verse 19, he gives the instruction to every believer, go ye therefore and disciple not just your house and your community, but disciple the nations. And so KNAS, we're seeking to challenge leaders who are believers, and if we can convert some to believing as well, we'll do that as well, to understand that their faith is supposed to be married with their vocational pursuits, with their family life, with their financial life. And so KNAS is a holistic approach to understand the burden of leadership that every believer is supposed to have.
Well, this is truly exciting, and every time I host it and being able to find out more about it, really being able to dive into and let persons know, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
This is the direction that we're going. It's always faith-based, and this is a wonderful thing to kind of pull you into, because the truth of the matter is this: there is any manner of things that can always kind of be able to cause us to drift away from the core, the center where God has called us to be.
Yes.
But it's important for us to be able to amplify and identify the true divinity of a call of God on our lives through these elements. So whether that's Forex or
Right.
whether that's trade or whatever
sir.
it is,
Yes, sir.
there has to be a faith element associated with this. And I like how Kanaz is being able to bring that kind of a kingdom element. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be able to introduce you to none other than Dr. Chris Walker, all the way from Orlando, Florida, here with us today, being able to talk about these things. Dr. Walker, introduce yourself. Let the persons know exactly who you are.
Well, I'm Pastor Chris Walker, and I'm from born and raised Orlando, Florida, and
Born and raised.
Orlando, Florida, and I also served in the U.S. Army for a while, and my wife and I relocated to Claremont, Florida, to Bertha Church, Cathedral of Power, where we pastored there for 20 years, and then we. I guess I could use the word transitioned in 2022 after 20 years of
You're in a
ministry.
safe space. You can use that.
And we launched out as Go Ye Global USA. So we travel to different nations. We've been to about 20 nations in the last 2 years. And we go and do leadership training with pastors and their leaders. We talk about business, how to create finances, past the tithes and offering, because you cannot run a church off of just tithes and offerings anymore without having to squeeze the people. And so we talk about that. We also do marriage conferences and youth conferences in different countries. So that's what we're doing. So I'm glad to be here today. I've been coming to Nassau for about 20 years, since 2004. And I met my good brother. And so,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we've been doing well.
This is an excellent thing. I want to know how your contribution, the core of what you're going to be doing here. You've given us some stuff that you've actually been being able to talk about, whether that be business, whether that be the tithes and offering aspect, whether that be marriage or youth. What are you going to be focusing on come the 20th to the 22nd?
Well, what I'm going to be focusing on is, number one, getting the kingdom is very diverse, and it can't just be one dimensional where we just have church and we go home. And so I'm going to be focusing on getting people to understand what kingdom really looks like. What is your role in the church outside of your pastor? A lot of people go to church, they enjoy, they go home, and that's it. No, we all have a mandate in our lives to participate in the success of ministry and the kingdom, and to be representatives of the kingdom. We're all representatives or ambassadors for the kingdom of God, and we should know how to represent him. My second thing that I'm going to be talking about, which is my passion, is there is a new financial system, global financial system, that is in works right now that many people are missing. And so if we don't pay attention to the global financial world, we're going to miss the transfer of wealth. So there is a transfer of wealth that's coming globally, and a lot of people are missing it, and they're not engaging into the cryptocurrency space, which is where this global world is going. You got over 300 nations that are going to be revaluing their currencies. You have a lot of countries that are moving towards gold, because their new currencies that are going to revaluate are going to be backed by gold. And the U.S. is also going towards a digital society. And so all that's moving really fast. And if people really get a hold of what areas that they need to invest in, they could secure their future and their family's future. So if you're out there and you're struggling, and you're listening to this program and you're struggling with your finances, here is a way to come in here, what you need to do yourself to set yourself up and your family up for generations to come, because the system is already in place.
You know, as I listened to you, one of the things that I was able to kind of capture from what I'm hearing you say is that there is a tradition that exists within the church, a culture that have caused them to kind of be stapled or stagnant or cemented in a particular prospect,
Yes.
whether that be both physically and mentally, and there is a change afoot around us. If we would get up, open our eyes, and make moves towards that,
Yes.
and we can be able to be a part of a new proverbial wave
Yes.
that's happening from a global standpoint, right? This is what I'm capturing from you.
Yes.
However, the difficulty with so what you are actually describing in the church is the embodiment of religion. That is religion. The concept and idea of being able to be content with what is before you,
Yes.
and the idea that this is how it was, this is how it is, this is how it will be. So you're essentially fighting against religion. But this introduction of a new source of faith, this introduction of a new avenue that has to do with kingdom-minded living,
Yes.
is something that is a little different. Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, in the church, we have been trained or taught to just sow an offering and magically stuff is going to turn around. I wish it could happen like that, but there's more to than sowing a seed or getting an $100 line or $1,000 line and things are just going to turn around the next day. The Bible says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. I say people perish for the lack of applied knowledge, because many times we get knowledge and information, but we don't apply it. And so we're waiting for someone to tell us every little move to do. But there's a season that's upon us that the information is there. And the only thing that's separating the church from the wealthy people is information. It's not that they're smarter than us. It's not that they have more than us. It's that they implement what's in place, and the church sits back and pray and just sows seeds.
So this is the faith without works.
There you go.
This is the lack of works.
There you go.
So we find ourselves as believers, we find ourselves as Christians stagnant, continuing to be able to hold on to the altar for an expectation of change, waiting for this kind of a miracle to come so we could sow something into it and see if we could be able to get into that kind of that Levite blessing. See if we could be able to get the priests. See if I can bring a dove. Let me see what I can do to see if I can be able to see the change happen in this kind of a space.
Yes.
But you're saying to us that all of us have the same access to information.
We do?
But the difference between those that actually have from those that have not is the application of that information.
Exactly. Because in Matthew 25 is a perfect example. 3 people were given the same opportunity to invest.
Nice.
The story of the talents. One got 5, one got 2, and one got 1. They all got the same assignment, the same information. Go do something with it. You know, he didn't say, you know,
hold this till I come back.
Yeah. And so the first 2, of course, we know, invested and they doubled what they were given. The last one is the example of what the church is today. I'm just going to hold on to my gift. I'm going to hold on to what I have because
it's useless to everybody.
Yeah, I gotta wait for a rainy day to come. And so the master comes back and he rewards the first 2 for doubling what they had, and he rebukes the one who had it, the one who it was given to, but they did nothing with their talent, their gifts, and their knowledge. And here's what's even crazy is that you would have thought that he would have gave it to the one he just gave 2 talents to. He gave the third guy's talent, who didn't do anything with it, to the one who had 5, who made it 10. So sometimes we think that God is going to bless us just because we're poor, or because we look sad enough, or because we complain enough, or because we have been downtrodden enough that he's just going to give it to us.
Right.
No, he rewards those who do something with what he gives them.
Good steward.
And so the church needs to teach that, but what we're doing in the church is making people dependent instead of making people disciples and ambassadors.
There is a divide, right? There's a divide throughout the body of Christ, whether we're listening here or Australia, United States of America, South America, Latin America, wherever we're listening, there exists a divide. Divide has, for the good space of, 50 years, has been able to say a great deal of people are pursuing a prosperity message. And because of this prosperity message, religion kicks in and says, no, we have to keep our position. We have to be able to keep our things, that old school preaching, that old way, and how these particular things were done is the only way that's going to get you into heaven. Right now, Geno Jennings will be preaching against these things. Right now, and you know that. Right now, he'll be preaching against these things. And so I want to know from you, what is this kind of the vision, the view? Because there is, my development has taught me that there is a difference between that traditional concept and the kingdom way of being able to live. So talk to me about that.
I think preachers are scared to equip people, and equipping is more than the word. Because we do a great job of telling people to give up the 10%, which is biblical. It's in the Bible, but we never address the 90%.
Yes, sir.
And I think if we teach people what to do with the 90, they'll give more of the 10 without any problems. If you teach people what to do, and I think we have to equip people in every aspect of their life, their marriage, their children, their faith, as well as their finances. You know, church that do these things very well are very successful. You know, they have business ministries in the church. Everything just can't be shouting and speaking in tongues and falling out, and then you don't improve your life. You don't change your generation. You don't shift, you know, and we're just saved until Jesus comes back. We got to be equipped until he comes back. We've got to be involved. We've got to affect the government as well as every aspect of life. And the church needs to teach that, and not just faith.
One thing that comes to mind as you speak is many are called, few are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. That's the one thing that comes to mind. That out of the many that were called, they called from somewhere. And I kept saying, I've said this to you before. Many are called, that's a universal set. Many are called from the universal set.
Right.
And from the many that are called, few are chosen from that particular set. There's a subset.
Correct.
There's a great deal of people out here, if they grab hold to the concept of religion, if they grab hold to the concept of faith, if they grab hold to the concept of being able to get back to heaven, to find ourselves in the bosom of God, to find ourselves to be with God today in paradise, there is a fear that if we step off of this line, if we do anything contrary to what we've read verbatim in the Word of God, maybe we're going to be stepping out of that particular space. Is there a fear? Talk to me about that, Ambassador. Is there a fear of how people pursue these particular things?
There is indeed. So when Dr. Chris was talking just now, the scripture that shot into my mind was when Christ said of himself that I am the way, the truth, and the life. Any man that wants to come to the Father must come through him. I think that statement he made is the dividing line between the faith of Christianity and all other religions. And I think that line that gets us in the most problems, because a lot of religions don't accept him as the Savior, as coming through and coming in through a birth without a male, living a sinless life. They're like, that's farce. That doesn't make sense. But when we preach Jesus, I think for a long time we haven't preached him in totality. We like the mystical, the magical Jesus. The mystical and the magical Jesus. You don't do anything. You just come, you do it with the person the pulpit says, you give your offering and you genuflect and you praise and you spin around and your life is going to change magically. There is no magic to faith in Christ. There are principles that we have to apply to our lives on a daily basis. And when we apply these principles, we will get godly success. I used to say a few years ago, consistent application of the principles of the Word of God produces consistent manifestation.
But this is heavy what you're saying, because first thing that popped in my mind is that he reigns on the just and the unjust. It's just principles.
Principles.
It's just principles.
So another thing I want to say is that you can't find a place in Scripture where God uses anybody who wasn't first doing something before he called them. Many of them was deep in the belly of unrighteousness, unrighteous practices. Abraham serving false gods. Saul wanting to kill and arrest Christians. However, they were busy, they were passionate, and they were fervent. What God did was show to them, I am the source of life. I want you to work for me. Take that same passion and do it with righteousness. We've produced a culture and an environment in church where people want to do nothing. They come to church because they want to be entertained. The pastor better preach.
Isn't that crazy?
He better preach to the right fervor today, or I can say, pastor, miss it. The choir and the praise team better be on. They better sing my song. Is I'm like at the club. You know those people who have a club life. This is so I've heard that the club.
You ain't never been to the club?
So that the people in the club will get angry.
Well, let me tell you.
They will get angry if that DJ shut down before they play their song. You better play my jam.
Excuse me, sir. Let me tell you why. All right, we get angry. We get angry because we was looking at that girl all night, and they ain't played a slow song yet. That's what it is.
So living the Christian life. What we seek to do in this hour is saying, hold on, let's put the magic aside, your magical expectations aside for a second, and understand that we are called disciples, which is the root word of discipline. We have to condition ourselves. We have to work. We have to be faithful in terms of doing something and applying godly principles to it. What God expects from us, here's the difference maker between us and the world. We're supposed to work in the spirit of unity. We're supposed to work in the spirit of love. Our conduct is supposed to be in righteousness. And whatever we accomplish worth value, we're supposed to give God the glory from it. That is what makes us different.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful thing that we're talking about this and talking like this. I always, I enjoy these conversations.
I know. I see.
I don't think you know how much I enjoy
I see
it.
a fervor coming you like never before.
I don't think you know how much I enjoy it, right? But I enjoy these conversations because I'm always intrigued and being able to get a little deeper into the Word of God and get clarity as we, as a people, seek to kind of unravel ourselves from the bonds of the traditional whole that is no longer speaking to us. This is that kind of a faith without works. This is the belief or the idea without application. And the application is where we find the kingdom. The application and the pursuit thereof is where we find the kingdom.
Yes, sir.
I just get preachy. I need to calm down. I'm going to try to calm down.
You're preaching good.
Right?
The application.
Right? The application is where we find that, right? Even in the principle, in the space that we are right now, and being able to identify, whether it be from a political standpoint, whether it be from an occupational standpoint, we find a great deal of principles, rules, regulations, theories. But the application thereof, if you don't be able to execute those particular things, you still find a lull. You still find emptiness. You still find non-productivity in these particular spaces if you don't apply.
Yes, sir.
And so the position is, application is where the kingdom exists.
Come on. Come on, Howard.
Yo, when we preach to it, I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. Right?
Come on, sir.
Right? No. But this is truth. This representation of what you're seeing before you. Let me get preachy with my things for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
This representation of what you see before you.
Yeah.
The newspaper. The show.
Yep.
Soon you can see the TV station. Oh, Jesus. I broke it out.
Prophesy.
Let me just be clear with you. I don't have no bunch of money.
Yep.
It's a grant, not a Simonette or a Bastion. I just want to be clear with you. But I believe Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
I could explode how much I believe. I know he can do it. He got to do it. I can't do it myself. And I didn't bring this to me. But I can tell you one thing. Those things that I see in the clouds, I will do whatever I can to pull them to this reality.
Yep.
And that's kingdom living.
Yep.
We got to get to this particular kingdom vibe. Guys, I want to be able to take this quick commercial break. When we get back, I want to talk a little bit more about these things. And then you want to be able to get to tell us what's going to be happening from the 20th to the 22nd. Quick commercial break, guys. You're going to see this little commercial on Kanaz. And we'll be right back after this.
For the first time in its 15-year history, a Bahamian Leadership Conference is crossing borders internationally. Our Delano Roker has the details in this report.
Excitement is building as Bahamian delegates prepare to join the Kingdom Invasion National Assignment Summit, founded by faith leader Ambassador Devin Roll. The gathering aims to expand God's will by connecting with believers where they are in today's society.
For too long now, many persons have allowed the church to stay in the four walls, where we pretty much end up entertaining ourselves and missing the fact that Christ, according to John 3:16, died that the entire world might be saved.
That was August. It's November, and we're back home. The Canaz Bahamas Experience happens Thursday, November 20th, 7 p.m. at the National Baseball Stadium in its Foyer Center. We'll be there Thursday and Friday nights, and then on Saturday, November 22nd, we're back at the Sandals Royal Bahamian Hotel, Cable Beach, at 1 p.m. for the always exciting and informative Canaz Leadership Conclave. Nights 1 and 2 are free. Registration for Saturday's Leadership Conclave is only $75, with special rates for groups of 5 or more. Conclave package includes the Canaz Leadership Packet, lunch, and a special discount for next year's Canaz Global Conference in America. Call 1242-323-5907 or see the Canaz event page on Facebook.
Forget our God, oh no, for in him lies our very...
That I could love only you. I wish that I could forever be true. I wish that I could always stay by your side. But I find I can't hold back this time. I've gotta be free. 'Cause freedom is something you can't explain. What makes the sun shine? What causes the rain? Freedom is something you just can't explain. Gotta have my freedom, girl. I've gotta be free. I wish that I could dry all your tears. Try to remember just the happy years. Your folks will ask what went wrong. Just smile and tell them he is gone. He's gotta be free. 'Cause freedom is something you can't explain. What makes the sun shine? What causes the rain? Freedom is something you just can't explain. Gotta have my freedom, girl. I've gotta be free. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Something you can't explain. What makes the sunshine? What causes the rain? Freedom is something you just can't explain. I've got to have my freedom, girl. I just gotta be free. I've gotta be free. I just gotta be free. Freedom. Freedom.
I met you, baby, there will be so good. I said I could get you in a fine to calm my soft inside. There was something going on.
You do something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Every beat of my heart
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Canals, Bahamas. Listen to me. I love the fact that we have to be able to identify the region that we're in now. Talk to me. Just be very clear. Hey, Jesus, let's just do this, right? Canals, Bahamas is going to be talking about these things. I am, and I could remember having conversations about the fact that I told Ambassador Devin Roll that this had the strength and what it took to be able to go for a global standpoint. And that's why I wanted to join him when he went to South Carolina. I know that there will come times and seasons that we can be able to do that, but they're here now. They're here. They've been able to capture a great deal of attention and a lot of persons who want to be able to contribute to it. And so they're here and they're going to do this year. November 20th to the 22nd, Canals, Bahamas is going to be talking to you about kingdom leadership and this idea of being able to take this kinetic or this potential energy that you exist in this particular space and shift it to the kinetic, shift it to the kingdom. I just get preachy. I got to calm down. It's a lot that's going on, and we want you to be able to be a part of it. Now, for you to be able to kind of RSVP, if you got to RSVP, if you got to be able to set up or the prices or whatever the case may be, let persons know. Ladies and gentlemen, here with me is none other than Ambassador Devin Roll. Ambassador Devin Roll, go ahead.
Okay, let me say real quick, if you're interested in this event, please take this number down quickly. And the number is, well, I should say the 242 because we're international, 242-322-3343 or 242-323-5907. We also have an event page on Facebook. Canals 2025 Bahamas is on Facebook, and then you can look at any of my pages, Devin Roll, Ambassador Devin Roll, or KDC, and you'll find information because we want you to come. The first 2 nights of this conference is absolutely free. Absolutely free. We just ask you to come, be a part of the service conference start. So an offering as you're led to, and that's going to happen at the National Baseball Stadium, which has a beautiful conference center as a foyer. Can hold a few hundred people in there. We're asking you to come early to get a good seat. Then on Saturday, we go back for the 3rd straight year to Sandals Royal Bahamian. This for me is the climax of the event, in that this is where I'm asking business-minded people, leaders, pastors, managers, supervisors, the everyday believer, come to this Saturday session. The cost of it is just $75, and I say just because we're paying for the hotel. Lunch is also included. We have a tremendous, if you see the flyer, that's almost all of the persons who will be speaking or facilitating at some point. And I'm still, notwithstanding that, if you come in a group of 3 or 5 or more, we're going to discount the ticket to $60 for you to come. That's how much we really need you to be there to hear what's going to be shared. For the first time this year, well, Dr. Chris Walker, who's here with us, he's opening on Thursday night. I'm the speaker on Friday evening, and then Saturday, all of the facilitators will be in place. We have 3 other international speakers coming in from America over the next 24 hours. On the I didn't say this, on the Friday morning of the conference, which is the 21st, we're going to actually be at Temple Christian. We are going there to do what I call the Youth Leadership Symposium. They've given us the first hour and a half of their day, and these speakers, the guest speakers, are going to be there with me during the session. If you are in school or if you're a principal watching, you can bring representatives of your school or your leadership there. We'd be glad to have you there. That's also free. It's at the school. On Saturday, we have myself hosting. We have Dr. Walker, who's going to be sharing on a very special financial empowerment session. You don't want to miss that. We're also having the first ever all-female panel. And I'm looking forward to hearing their session because they're going to be dealing with ladies in leadership who have to balance marriage, motherhood, ministry, and business. You don't want to miss that. We have attorney, my friend, Dr. Melissa Hall. We have my beautiful wife, attorney Yolanda Roll. We have Miss Keishel Davis, a very internationally renowned speaker now. Dr. Cleopatra Williams, who is herself internationally known, and we also have Pastor Barbara Evans, who just herself hosted a magnanimous conference this past weekend. They're going to be in a ladies panel. If you're a woman in leadership, maybe you're a supervisor, a manager, or in ministry at any level, you want to come because we're going to allow you to even ask questions after the presentation. We have come in also from America. We have Pastor Jeremy Salters. We got Bishop Steve Yates. We have evangelist Pastor Pablo Fonseca, who is an author at the age of 31 of 40 books. I need a private session with him because I'm going to try to find out how in the world did he do it. But he's a dynamic speaker as well, and we're all going to be speaking in the different realms of faith and vocation that we marry together. We're seeking to empower the body of Christ to go to the next level. The world has shown us over the pandemic, in particular, how crazy it can become. Thankfully, Scripture says that we are in this world, but not of this world. It's time for us to demonstrate the level of access to the power of God that we have using wisdom and principles in our daily living.
That's an excellent thing. And Dr. Walker, you're going to be here. You're going to be talking about these particular things. Now, what is intriguing to me is how you indicated that women have to marry. They have to balance marriage, motherhood, and business.
Mm-hmm.
And you neglected to indicate that we have much to balance ourselves. Amen? But this ain't our session.
Well,
in our session.
You see, I try to be we're trying to be an equal opportunity person, right?
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yes, they've criticized me quietly. Some women, I won't call no names of the people who said, where are the women? Where are the women? So we're giving them a whole panel by themselves.
Which day is it going to be on?
This is on a Saturday. The female panel is going to be on Saturday. It's like in the middle of the whole day. Yeah. So we start at 1. The women will probably be on the platform around about 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm encouraging women to come. Men, let's come and undergird and support our women as well.
We're not invited in there, are we?
No, we're in there. We're in there. Yeah, no, this is not going to be a separate situation. Yeah, they have viewed us, so we're going to view them talking.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And Dr. Walker, you're going to be here being able to do those particular things. So you said that your sessions are going to be the opening session, and you're going to be talking cryptocurrency on Saturday night?
Saturday, yes.
Saturday night. Okay.
Some point in Saturday, yes.
Okay, okay. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to be here with us today. Anything else you want to put on the table before you get out of here?
What I want to encourage everybody to get the Realigner newspaper. Let me plug this while I'm here. This is a beautiful work of brilliance, and if you know anything that's connected to Howard Grant, it has to be top class. It is substantive. It is well presented. There's a story in here that I quickly glanced at that I think every Bahamian needs to look at. It was something about tears. Oh, which page is that on? I'm going to find it right now. One of the writers, Howard, you can help me.
Tears of what? What tears?
There was a story about. Oh, here it is. Is on what page is this? Page 11 of this most recent article. It's called "A Broken Cycle: How Abuse Tears at the Fabric of the Bahamas." That's a subject that I'd like to tackle at another time, because this fact was huge and inspiring me to go full time in ministry. The amount of, as I went into schools and did a lot of evangelism in parks, the amount of people who quietly have been abused in this country and have never gotten therapy, here's the big thing, and this is over 20 years of counseling and doing this kind of ministry. The problem that's hurting many of them in our country is that they've never received an apology. Have you ever driven around, for example, Howard, sorry to go here, this is a segue, and ask yourself, why do people look so angry, particularly some of our young females? Where's this level of anger and frustration and bitterness coming from?
They've never received an apology.
They've never received an apology for abuse they have received. And there are several that I mean, of course I can't call names, it's counseling.
Some abuse is dead, though.
Some of the abuses are dead. So
you can always get an apology.
So forgiveness is important, right? But what's this? Some of the abusers are alive, many are alive, and walking around them daily as though nothing happened. And that just renews the bitterness and the frustration. So there's a level of ministry that needs to go there. So anyway, I'm promoting the paper. read that article.
It's heavy what you're saying,
and how one of these times can we do a full show on that, please?
And I put something on my Facebook page similar to something like that, but it's really for the abuser to remember, and that is forgiveness is a choice, not an emotion.
Come on.
You have to learn how to release it so that you can go on with your life and not be held captive by those that offended you.
Yes, sir. Because unforgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die.
The principle of that was on Calvary.
Yes, sir. Ooh, come on.
The principle of that was on Calvary. Isaiah.
The lady,
the principle of that.
Valerie.
Forgive them.
Valerie Moore, I think is her name. She's on TikTok. She's from Atlanta. She called me one day because she was shot, I think, 7 times at point blank range from her ex-husband.
And she's still here.
And she's still alive.
Ooh, Jesus.
She came to Canaz too many years ago. She just told me that she's going to come back next year if we'd have her. But she asked me to record an apology to women who have been violated. I said, really? Because she met me, she said, I trust you, and your voice really soothes and ministers. So I did it. No one's ever asked me to do it before. And it was like, I talked for about 5 minutes, and I prayed for about 3 minutes, and I said, please forgive any and every man that has hurt you. And she plays it now on her page because she's dealing with so many women who have not had the apology.
Wow.
So she's trying to.
That's a whole show within itself.
I'm telling you, it is.
We got to be able to do that.
It is.
Right? And, Dr. Walker, just rest assured we have all the technology available here. So we can send you a link. No matter where you are in the world, you can be here with us.
Yes.
Praise God, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Canaz, Bahamas is going to be November 20th to the 22nd. We want you to be able to be a part of this. Come on now. We want you to be a part of this. This is about kingdom living. This is about being able to move in the direction that God has called you to move. This is about being able to step in conviction, with faith, fortifying your position, and moving with the purpose that God has called you to. We want to see you on November 20th to the 22nd. This first 2 nights going to be at
the National Baseball Stadium, and the third Saturday from 1 to 5:30 we're going to be at Sandals Royal Bahamian. And if Howard's wife lets him stay in the Bahamas, we might have him there as well.
Praise God. She then looking at me. She ain't saying nothing, but I know what that means. So we can see, guys. It has been wonderful. It's always wonderful to be able to have you with me, Ambassador, and Dr. Chris Walker. I want to thank you so very kindly. It was wonderful to meet you, my brother. And I'm hoping that this is not a first and last type thing.
No. Maybe we need to do something on crypto in the future.
I'd love that. All right, guys, we're going to take this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
For the first time in its 15-year history, a Bahamian Leadership Conference is crossing borders internationally. Our Delano Roker has the details in this report.
Excitement is building as Bahamian delegates prepare to join the Kingdom Invasion National Assignment Summit, founded by faith leader Ambassador Devin Roll. The gathering aims to expand God's will by connecting with believers where they are in today's society.
For too long now, many persons have allowed the church to stay in the four walls, where we pretty much end up entertaining ourselves and missing the fact that Christ, according to John 3:16, died that the entire world might be saved.
That was August. It's November, and we're back home. The Canaz Bahamas Experience happens Thursday, November 20th, 7 p.m. at the National Baseball Stadium in its Foyer Center. We'll be there Thursday and Friday nights, and then on Saturday, November 22nd, we're back at the Sandals Royal Bahamian Hotel, Cable Beach, at 1 p.m. for the always exciting and informative Canaz Leadership Conclave. Nights 1 and 2 are free. Registration for Saturday's Leadership Conclave is only $75, with special rates for groups of 5 or more. Conclave package includes the Canaz Leadership Packet, lunch, and a special discount for next year's Canaz Global Conference in America. Call 1242-323-5907 or see the Canaz event page on Facebook.
Forget our God, oh no.
If you can't party with the big boys, don't show up.
Shake that Billy G, girl, you shake it, never stop. Hey. Wine, girl, just wine, girl, just wine.
Y'all know this is.
Hey. Shake it to the left, hey. Shake it to the right.
Go on, Dan.
Wine your body, shake it up and dance all night. Hey.
Oh, 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 na, na, na. While in this music, hit me now. Well, I went down to this dance one night. Everybody was happy and feeling right. Speed records came, the DJ was playing. So I started sculling. I see this lady, she's so lovely. Every time she moves, she bump into me. I took her hand, moving to the dance floor. Cause I couldn't take this teasing no more. I told her to, y'all just wind it up. I told her to, y'all say what you got. I told her to, don't you ever stop. Cause the way you're moving, baby, getting me hot. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Go on then. Round two. Everybody's soaking wet. But we ain't stop dancing yet. No. Mr. DJ, play some more. Cause me and my gal ain't leaving this dance floor. See, I can't believe it's me rocking in this dance with she. Now, if I'm dreaming, don't wake me up. Cause I don't want this dream to ever stop. So just, y'all just wind it up. I told her to. Y'all say what you got. I told her to. Don't you ever stop. Cause the way you moving, baby, getting me hot. Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's make. Whoa, na, na, na. Y'all looking good. You're looking good. You see? Man, play me something nice. That's it. Scarlet music. Down home. Say what?
Wine, girl, just wine, girl, just wine and never stop.
Shake it, girl.
Shake it to the left, shake it to the right. Wine her body, shake it up and dance all
do it. She grabbed me by the hand. I spin around for a different glance. Then pull her near and some music play. We can stop until the break of day. So y'all just wind it up. You got to. Y'all say what you got. I told her to. Don't you ever stop. Cause the way you're moving, baby, getting me hot. Well, yeah. Y'all just wind it up.
Shake it, baby.
Shake with what you got.
Dance, baby.
Y'all don't ever stop. Cause the way you're moving, baby, getting me hot.
Yeah, wine, baby.
Whoa, oh, oh.
Shake it, baby.
Whoa, na, na, na.
Dance, baby.
Wind it up. Oh, come on, woman. Shake it.
Oh, yeah, wine, baby.
Give it to me.
Shake
move
it,
those hips. That's it.
Dance, baby.
Oh, you look so fine.
Slave ships they came in shackles and chains, stripped of their dignity, forced to wear their master's name. On their journey to the west, wild west, many took sick and died. They were thrown overboard as the survivors cried.
Oh, what misery, oh, what misery, oh, what misery they had to
mighty wide ocean, so treacherous and deep. Months of sailing and starving, not enough to drink or eat. Now my name is Master. You must forget your native tongue. You learn to speak my language, or face my wrath, anyone.
Oh, what misery, oh, what misery, oh, what misery they had to endure. Oh, what misery, oh, what misery, oh, what misery they had to endure.
Slave named Pompey.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Foundation with Howard Grant. Always grateful to be here with you as we're getting into a new season, new time. Kanaz is coming up. My anniversary is also going to be coming up on the 22nd of November. And this is why they said, for the past few years I've been traveling. I hope, pray to God, that we could do that again this year for the sake of something for my wife to definitely be able to enjoy. But as it stands now, I have no plans to be able to do those particular things. But I'd love to do that with her and enjoy myself with her. And I take my 2 kids with us. But we're here. We continue to be able to do these things. Last night with the by-election, the information that came across of the by-election, 200 and some persons did not cast their votes. 200 and some persons did not cast their votes last evening, right? Joining me in the studio today to be able to talk a bit about politics and where we are in the country right now is none other than Richard Cartwright. He's my cousin. He's here with me in the studio. My brother, say good afternoon to the people out there.
Good afternoon, cousin. Good afternoon, Bahamas. I'm honored to be here with my famous cousin.
Famous cousin?
Mr. H. Grant.
Famous?
Thanks for having me, sir.
Oh, I'm right here, my brother. I'm always grateful to be able to have you with us. So talk to me. Let persons know who you are, some of the thoughts that you have about the by-election. And we're waiting to see whether or not Adrian Francis, he's in? Adrian Francis. My brother, say good afternoon to the people out there. We're waiting to see if you were in. Adrian, what's happening with you?
Good afternoon. Hey, I didn't know you were famous.
Go ahead. We had to put the headphones on. Go ahead.
I don't know it. I don't have any headphones.
No. We had to put the headphones on. We good. We can hear you. What's happening?
Okay. No, I didn't know you were famous. Somebody called you famous just now?
Yeah. This Richard Cartwright right here in the studio with me, my cousin. Say good afternoon, man. What's happening, guys?
I didn't know you were famous.
I didn't know either. But praise God, I'll take the fame, whatever they give me.
Well, cuz I would say this. You also got another famous guy.
I am Seamus.
He say you famous yourself.
That's one of those famous Francis Clark.
I'm not famous, man.
Yes,
I am. I would got the fame. I got the shame.
No, man. You a member of that famous Francis clan.
Adrian, I wanted to talk to you. I wanted
to talk. My uncle, very famous, Calvin Francis, is a famous fella.
Yes. Now I wanted to talk to you. I was trying to reach you yesterday. We were trying to have a conversation with you yesterday to find out you've made some predictions, some forecasts of your expectation. I wouldn't say prediction, let's say forecast. I wrote it down. I got all the information from Mr. McPhee over at Registrar General just to find out what has happened in the constituency of Golden Isles from 2002 to current, from every election from 2002. And we have realized that no one, the collective in the constituency, and I know that Richard would want to talk to this, the collective in the constituency has not had an appetite to be able to vote independently. No individual or grouping, no one, including Stephen Greenslade, no one was able to capture more than 600 votes together. How now do you believe that Brian Roll can capture 600 votes? Talk to me.
I believe that if you look at the last three elections, you will find that the independents combined got 600 or more votes in the last three elections combined. At one point, the DNA got 500 plus, and then they came back at 400 plus, and then combined with COI last time, it went up to almost just under 700.
Adrian, I doing the numbers already. This the by-election for West Grand Bahama. This from the Department of Environment.
You can't even read the book of numbers. What you doing the book of
I
numbers?
didn't do the numbers already. Fred Mitchell said, if you was playing numbers, you get one dream book. If you really display, you should have more than one dream book. I got all the numbers here. Right? And I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about those particular things because I'm looking more specifically at the 2021. Let's pull up 2021. In 2021, let's look at those independent numbers. In 2021, Brian Brown was able to capture 1,864 votes. That's Brian Brown, right? The GCP, right, which is Eric Wellington Best was able to capture 17 votes. That's 17 votes, right? The DNA, 126 votes. Independent, 32 votes. COI, 346 votes. And then the UCP, 53.
Add those up, and the margin you have when you add those up is 627.
So you believe that everyone is going to push. So you don't think it'll be spread between Karen and Brian Roll?
No, I believe that the agitation is with Lincoln Brown. She's like, I saw them sound just like them all the time, but all these, I'm trying new Brian names. I saw them sound just like them. Listen, I believe that the agitation, the COI has become a new cult, right? And you can tell through social media that they've become a new cult. And the cult doesn't necessarily mean a bad cult. It's just a new culture. And the reality is that with COI and with all the things that are basically happening right now, they've generated a mass following of disgruntledness, displeasure in our country. I believe that counts for something. I believe what you see with the DNA, what the DNA would have had, what you see with what the independent would have had, all that is going to be a mass into the COI. Give Karen what you want to give Karen. In the context of, let's say, 50 votes, 20 votes, let's say 10 votes. Add that to COI also. But you're going to have that. And I believe, this is my humble opinion, I hope nobody from COI, the attack dogs or pit bulls or persons who go by the Humane Society, I hope they're not watching this. I do believe that, for the most part, the worst thing that can happen to any electorate is to follow Lincoln Bay.
That's heavy what you're saying now.
That's the worst thing that can happen. Let me tell you, he's proven that he's not worth following.
That's heavy.
Last night he did it. In Parliament Square he did it. Constantly he's doing it. I think his message is being confuddled up with him as the messenger. People are disgruntled. They are displeased with the direction the country is going in, for the most part. People are not pleased with leadership for the most part. This is the first time in our country's history we're going into the next election with a prime minister who set up favor on the ground in the person of Brave Davis. First, people couldn't wait to see the end of Ingram. They couldn't wait to get rid of Christie. They could not wait to dump Minutes. Brave still have favor on the ground. Whether it's Pickstock, whether it's Smith and West Grand Bahama and Bimini, you will find that this election, people will put their hands over the name and vote for Brave.
You think that's going to happen? I got some numbers, and these aren't concrete numbers. These aren't, I can't even put no accuracy to say this has happened. Breaking news, police involved killing through Cooper's Terrace. This is breaking news just now. Eyewitness puts it up. Police involved killing through Cooper's Terrace is happening right now.
God of mercy.
Things are happening right now, right?
God of mercy.
So I just want to be able to talk to you about some stuff. Let's just be clear about some things and be
Yeah,
able
go
to
ahead, go ahead.
identify
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
Let's identify this, and I won't pull you in the conversation, Richard. What we saw last night, Lincoln Bean, you and I discussed this. Lincoln Bean is wrapped up in the theatrics of being able to identify how do we pull people in with emotion? How do we use this one thing that we have? Yes, they have a message. Yes, there is this sort of a disgruntled posture that exists in the country. Yes, people are indifferent of how things are happening. Lincoln Bean, in his particular capacity and the embodiment of the COI, have really played on the emotions of the Bahamian people and really been able to be almost theatrical in their pursuit of leadership, in their pursuit of these particular things. Yeah, I cannot fight their tactics. But I could say to you, as I saw last night, he wasn't alone. He was joined by the Free National Movement. He was joined in this particular capacity by the Free National Movement, and they'd like to be able to talk about democracy at the forefront and say that these things are happening because it is ridding us and being able to erode the democracy and what should happen from a righteous standpoint. But this is a level of theatrics that we don't need right now. Talk to me about it, Richard. Go ahead.
Well, you know, Howard, I always tell people that, especially those who are newcomers into politics, that there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And sometimes what people don't realize is that when you're trying to take on, I call established political machineries, you must have a clear choice in your message, and you have to be more subtle with it. This ray, rah attack, I always tell them, I said, listen, if you want to understand how politics in this country is done or run, take a time out from all of the noise around you. Sit down in the gallery of the Parliament. Ask the clerk of the House, can I have a copy of basically parliamentary rules, how it presents? And this is what you do. You sit back, you learn, you observe. Sometimes you don't just rush to do things. And I always ask this one question to every new political party that comes along. And going back to the DNA, the Vanguard, and all of those. Are you in this fight for a short-term haul, or is it a long-term haul? And most would say, no, we can be in for the long term. But I always say to them now, if you're in for a long-term haul, here are the numbers that you're up against. The Progressive Liberal Party has been in Parliament unbreakable consecutive terms of 70 years sitting in the Parliament of the Bahamas. Makes them an established machinery. The opposition, the FNM, has been 50 years consecutive sitting in Parliament. So for you as a new party to challenge that, your message has to be very subtle, clear, and you have to be speaking out of all of the
Yeah, but I believe it goes deeper than that. Let's get into this, Adrian. I believe it goes deeper than that. It's not necessarily about a subtle message. It's about timing. I don't know whether or not this is the time when the FNM found themselves in and they became the freedom fighters and finding themselves being able to agitate against what is perceived as a totalitarian rule of Lyndon Pindling. It was the right time. They had not only the potential, but a kinetic energy of men and women who were willing to follow them and move. The DNA had a great opportunity. I think that they would have been able to come the closest in 2012 with that kind of a pendulum swinging in their direction, grabbing the emotion and also the attention of everyone that watched in with Granville McCartney. Now, since then, there has been unrest on the ground. There has been unrest in each constituency throughout the country. There has been socioeconomic unrest existing for miles around. But the truth of the matter is that the question is whether or not they have the momentum. Is it the time? Talk to me, Adrian.
You know, interesting that how I listened to Richard just now. I wanted to read a letter that fell into my my political garbage bin.
Hold on.
And it said,
Hold on. Only Jerome got them. I don't know where you got that from.
I have my own political garbage bin.
Go ahead.
It says, November 14, 2025, Mr. Michael Pintard, MP, party leader, Free National Movement, Market Street, Nassau, the Bahamas. Yes, sir. It says resignation, Karen Shepherd, Free National Movement.
Oh, I get a garbage bin too because I get one of them too. Yes, go ahead.
I hereby formally submit my resignation from the Free National Movement. I want to keep in context of what Howard just said. From the Free National Movement with such sadness. My father, the late Jimmy Shepherd legacy, will and has remained as contribution, a nation building to construct this party through struggle, the victories and defeats were worth it all. He left the Bahamas better. I have been part of a lifetime of loyal, dedicated service, committed to the FNM. In the hearts of my beautiful sisters, Free National Movement Women Association, it's been noted I've left a valuable impression in the Free National Movement. Our contribution have affected many, and the history will record that we both and our family wanted to leave our services and country through this organization in an impactful manner. Indelibly, the friends like family bond will never be diminished, but we will cherish that. Please know, I do not leave bitter nor resentful, but with love, my time has come to conclusion to be a part of the Free National Movement. Richard talked for 50 years. Jimmy Shepherd is the founder of the Free National Movement. It's very, very, very troubling. On the 14th of November, 2025, I have the daughter of Jimmy Shepherd depart from the Free National Movement, whatever her circumstance may be. He said 50 years, the Free National Movement, 70 plus years, the Progressive Liberal Party. These things are establishing movements. When you get persons like Howard, that wasn't you on top of the band last night. I want to make sure it wasn't you before I say what I say.
It wasn't me, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, was it you?
I don't think Devon could hold me. Go ahead.
Listen. I was very displeased with the display of immature democracy last evening. I was very displeased with what I thought was Netflix. What I thought was TNT with no drama. And you can tell that people are playing into the emotion of this stuff, who follow the extent to which it can cause quality individuals to depart from whatever it is you're doing. It's unfortunate that persons can't find quality rest in anything that keeps the government feet to the fire. The role of opposition is to keep the government's feet to the fire. There are persons within these groupings who really, really have a heart for our country, who have a heart for the direction of our country, and then there are charlatans. I don't see Lincoln as somebody, I always try to give that young man the benefit of the doubt, and he keeps proving me wrong. And but I believe Michael Penn doesn't have a heart for this country. I just believe that sometimes the weight of your carry requires a different gym. And you have to find out sometimes whether you're lifting with credibility. What you've been called to do. And
you go on mute.
This situation will become a referendum on you. And it's unfortunate. I think Michael Pentard is different. We spent some time together only recently where he shared his heart with me. I think the fellow, like anyone else, Brave Davis, Glennis Hanna Martin, there are Bahamians who want to see the Bahamas do well. They may not take the same road or the same avenue to see that happen. Nevertheless, I don't think anybody wants to go to Parliament to say, let me see how quickly I can destroy this country. I do believe, though, that some of the methods and the process through which we try to get there need to be seasoned with salt. I saw some things happen last evening that was very discouraging when it comes to our growing democracy. We keep comparing ourselves to countries that are 10 times older, 15 times, 20 times older than we are. We are a growing democracy. And we have to be careful. We keep saying, let's be rich, we could be someplace else. All the people know someplace else won't be in the Bahamas.
Yes.
So we have to be more careful of the things we speak of our country, the things we do to our country. I saw something, Howard, this past week that made me cry. I saw young men and women go on board a private vessel, carry something from the private vessel. That was not the bad part. I heard Bahamians justify them moving the things. I've heard Bahamians call defense force officers thieves. I've heard the Bahamians say that what happened in Abaca was okay. They said that the things were insured. And I said to myself, I said, Lord, how do we recover from all of this happening in our country? If the people are bad, they can only be as bad as our leadership.
You can be bad, but you can't be dumb and bad.
Oh, you could.
It's this kind of a conjunctivitis, this kind of a connection to almost like a triple threat is horrible, right?
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
I've always been a big guy, right? I've always been like a big guy. When I was growing up, I was always the biggest out of my class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I recognized that I couldn't be fat and sloppy. I just want to be very clear with you. I could never carry myself with too much conjunctions. I can't pull on fat, sloppy, and a liar. It's okay to be bad if it's unto you and you continue to go unto your God and try to be able to get yourself, but you can't be dumb and bad. You're recording yourself, watching you to be a thief. This don't make no sense what you're doing. What you doing? This don't make no sense. If you can be a thief, and do that in the night.
Yeah.
You see, I look at this and I'm disappointed in the country. And this is the exact same thing that I saw last night. How did I know that something was going to happen? I rode through yesterday and I watched the opposition. I watched them on both sides of the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched them, and then from the get-go, we saw Lincoln Bain take on this kind of a posture of being able to say, oh, it's wrong for them to do that. They shouldn't be playing these kind of music, and it's against the law. And we hear what he's saying. There was nothing that they did yesterday that we didn't see in every election for our lifetime. There was nothing that they did yesterday that was out of whack.
Idiotic behavior.
There was nothing. The music, whether it was the tent setup, the distance was the proper distance. There was nothing that happened yesterday that I thought could be able to lend to this position of being able to rattle the emotions of the Bahamian people to say that there is an injustice happening here. How did I know by the end of the night that the FNM would have joined this particular charade and be able to do the exact same thing? Come on, man, let's talk about this.
But Howard,
if I was a best man, if I was a best man, I would never say the FNM would have been involved in that. If I was a betting person, so I don't know what Howard would have said. But if I was a betting person based on history, I don't know the FNM to carry that level of decorum.
But did you see what happened? Okay, so let's take it from a virgin standpoint. We are brand new voters to the country. Perception is our reality. The things that we see on social media is the reality in our minds. After we would have seen them leaning and slamming and pushing back on the cars and the interviews saying that we won't do these and blah, blah, blah. Do you say that the FNM was not involved with this?
No, that's not. I'm thinking more to history than to.
From a historic standpoint, this has never been the decorum that exists in the FNM. From a historic standpoint, and it goes back to your point that you've made yesterday. The point that you made yesterday that this is a referendum on the leadership of Michael Pintard. That's what this is boiling down to.
Yeah, I would say this, Howard. I would say this, Howard and Adrian. You know, I keep trying to explain to people that when you see, I've worked polls before in previous election. And, you know, one of the things that I always tell people that for new groupings, it's not that I'm picking on the COI per se, but for new groupings, if you ever worked any polls, the music and stuff, the things that I heard people complain about, and I was like, this has nothing to do, has never been a problem with people going in to vote. People go in, they voted, and they come out. Every political machinery has their little grouping, the tents, the music, and stuff. So some of the complaints, I was like, is that against the law? And I don't think so. Then when you look at what happened last night, and I told someone, I said, listen, Howard, you on to something about the leadership. And I think right now that Mr. Pintard is not standing on his own principle as who he is as a person. You cannot compete with Mr. Bean at that level of trying to drum up crowd. You will not win that battle. But if you understand the parliamentary procedure and how politics or parliamentary is enforced, stick to that script. Be you. You know, for too long, if you look in this country, we've had too many people coming in to politics, and they wants to say, "But I arrived," they act different. And I remember saying to Mr. Bean at one time, and I said, you got a man, when Hiram became his sitting member of voice in Parliament, I said, listen, use him to voice your opinions or your views through the Parliament. Let his voice become your voice. You speak through him. Because people don't realize that under our Constitution, only the parliamentarians makes laws. All angles, everything you need to happen for this country goes through the Parliament. And if you could be on the outside making all the noise you want, drumming up, that doesn't make no difference, because see, you don't have no effect on parliamentary procedures. So you have a voice, use it. And people say, oh, well, you're picking it. No, it ain't picking on. It's just that we are not a country where we are like other countries in the region where, through history, when it comes to elections, that they basically become so caught up emotionally that they become almost on the verge of chaos or violent. That was never our nature. Because I said, if you look at the history where we became an independent country, compared to our brothers and sisters in the region, we've always took the high road and did things particularly different. Our independence was a quiet independence. We didn't win and burn down the town and tore it up and this and that and chase the leaders out. We gradually took and we went in and said, okay, that's where we're going. We are now on the verge, and I keep telling people this, I said, our young people are very impressionable. And like you said earlier, and Adrian said, we have a lot of this social media, so now people see things happening. If you look at it, you just read where you said that they had the police shot someone on the street.
No. Police involved shooting. I say police.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. Hold on. All right, I'm just saying this, right? But if you look at it, and I was telling my niece the other day, I said, we have come so far, but then we've also went backwards too, because I said, when I was growing up, a fellow would walk into a bank back in the day with a stick on his thing or a finger on his shade and call this a stick up and get the people in the bank, give him all the money. Nowadays, fellas shooting up the place, ain't getting no money, and people are glorifying it. And I was like, where are we going as a country? Where's our so-called new young leaders? Who's going to help move this country?
Yeah, but I think that this is what Adrian is saying. This is why this is a referendum on Michael Pintard's leadership.
Yes.
And Michael is all of our friend.
Yes.
I considered him a friend for a very long time. But this is going to get very dicey for us and the potential relationship that we have, because I have to identify and scrutinize what I see in the capacity that I sit. And as I look at this and the allegations that came forward with the passport, I made telephone calls. I show you made telephone calls, Adrian. I made telephone calls to find out from people who I know in the passport office, high-ranking people, strategic people, frontline people, trying to find out, is there any fire to this smoke? All they could tell me is, I heard about some smoke. I didn't really know. I didn't see nothing. And then where did Michael Pintard get this information? To perpetuate these particular stories and narratives, it is not the Free National Movement that we know, Adrian. Talk to me. This is not the Free National Movement that we know. This is not where we came from as an organization. When we was able to identify years ago as a people, the Bahamian people, we knew what this Free National Movement was. In 1992, Government in the Sunshine was a representation of transparency. A matter of trust in 1997 is not what we're seeing now. Talk to me.
The challenge, again, I let's go back to what Richard was saying about COI. And there's a young man running for the COI named Brian Rowe. who, every time there's a live and Brian Rule is in the live, they try their best not to get Brian Rule to talk. I don't know if he can't talk or he sounds crazy when he talk, but they try their best not to get him to talk. And if he talk, he don't talk long, right? There's a fellow who.
Where you get these things from? Where you get these things from? I see it. I see every time. I know one thing. Whenever I see Brian Roll, Lincoln made in the frame. I know he in the frame somewhere.
That's the exact point. That's the exact point I was about to make.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the exact. That's the exact point I was about to make. Miles Monroe always said, "Success without success is always failure." And the challenge that we have is that, for the most part, if this is supposed to be COI by-election, you can tell that there are no leaders in COI. The only person in COI is Lincoln Bay. How can you tell? There was a by-election in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. Lincoln went up there. The only reason why he's not running in this election right now, he's shame. Because Brian Rule would have already been on the ground.
He took some blows in West Grand Bahama. He took some blows. All of that for 306 votes. Hold on now.
Yeah, 306 votes. Thanks for coming. So at the end of the day, right? A leader have to be prepared to come out of the frame. If you trust, because obviously Brian Rule ain't getting anyone taking Brian Rule serious unless he in a boxing ring with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but you didn't get him on 600 votes. I don't know whether or not there's an opportunity. No.
COI.
How does COI get 600 votes?
Listen, if COI don't get 600 votes, I can laugh at myself. Because I can tell you right now, right?
Sir,
I believe that
I will buy you lunch at wherever you want to go. The COI get 600 votes. Wherever you want to go.
Buy you lunch if they don't. And wherever you want to go, I have to buy you lunch if you don't.
I won't go Miami. Buy the ticket.
I can buy you lunch
too rich for
in
my
Miami.
blood. You're all too rich for my blood.
I can buy you lunch in Miami.
Okay,
now you go to any Wendy's you want to go to when you get there.
Wendy's? No, there's something else. No, I'm serious with you. 600 votes. Listen, if you and I could sit here and deduce the fact that we haven't heard much from Brian Roll, that the motorcade that they had the other day was sort of a generic motorcade in terms of being able to pull people from left, right, and center. Which I got caught up in that. People texting and say, my God, now they take the COI line long. I already stuck on this line. I laugh it. I laugh it.
Oh, but let me tell you something. The challenge that we have is that even Aram Lewis has not shown up to the vexing situation in Golden Heights. I haven't seen him.
Aram Lewis, we can have to have a real conversation. And I guess we can have this after the by-election.
Listen, Aram Lewis, who is my dear friend, my personal friend.
I know that.
If he could moonwalk his way out of what he put himself in.
I thought he was out the other day. I call him and all that. You see all that Sunday when everything could say Hiram left the COI. I said, what? I call him right away. He said, no, Howard. That's not how I am pouring this dock. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, he pouring dock already. The problem whether you pour in dock or whether you become an integral part of something like the COI and all that kind of stuff, it ain't a matter of pouring a dock. You could take one ticket, catch a flight to Nassau, take a picture and go back. It's obvious, right? It's obvious. And it's because the frame of the COI is a Lincoln frame. When they go live, MacGyver don't go live. Charlotte can't go live. Charlotte dead. MacGyver them, you didn't wait with Maria Jackson no more. Why? It's a Lincoln show.
I thought Maria left.
She left when she right. The challenge that they have is that all of them know this is about Lincoln. Lincoln have all of them blind and confused. And many of them would like to leave, but it's way too late. Lincoln is the only person in the frame.
They gotta go down with the ship.
Gotta go down with the ship. The only reason why Lincoln is supporting Brian Roll, he can't even get the boy name right. The only reason why he's supporting Brian Roll is because Brian Roll was pre-nominated prior to all of this. There were some persons who have been nominated by that crew called COI, and if they were having a by-election in Freetown, there's a lady who already been nominated for Freetown. Charlotte been nominated for Carmichael. And so there's a, what he's going to do, move these persons to like, man, you're moving the way, I gotta get there. No, he can't do it.
He tried it with
there's
West Bahama.
No, there's no party. He tried it with West Bahama. So they don't have a party. If you give them a cake, candles, soda, ice cream, it's still a party.
So why did you stop talking foolishness on these people think, eh? No, but I just wanted to be able to do this, and then it's the last few minutes I want to be able to talk about this. And I want to be able to, let's see if we could do this at least once every other week or once a week or whatnot. I don't know your schedules or whatnot, but
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Let me get back to it. I'm not as big as you are.
But I would say this, Adrian.
Go ahead, Richard.
You were right, you know. And see, I think I met me and Adrian a couple of times. We sat in the gallery, and when we came out, and we tried to educate those who are there, first timers, what they need to look at to better themselves. Because many of my conversation before is that when you look at our parliament, how many people you could say 5 years if they get voted out and you see them on the street, you recognize them?
I don't know these people.
You don't know them. They leave no legacy. They go in there with nothing.
It ain't about legacy. It's about impression. They ain't even no impression either.
No, I've said legacy because with a legacy, you have an impression. Yeah.
Richard. You mentioned legacy?
Legacy? They never do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody just wants to get in that place. Hopefully they can get 5, 10 years, collect a pension.
Listen.
And it's sad. That's the sad part about it.
Let me tell you something, Richard. And I want to leave this here so you all can understand how clear thinking I am. And please mind my language. I'm not going to cuss. But
you must mind your own language. Go ahead.
No, I need you all to mind my language.
Okay, I can mind your language.
Not because a seat is empty, mean any ass should sit in it.
Mine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree.
Legacy?
No, because when you look at it, and I know Brian because we work together at BTC.
It's Brian now. It's a lot of Brian.
No, I'm talking
about Brian.
Yeah, and so I said to him before, when I heard that one passed, and I said to him, I put him on the side, I said, are you guys going to challenge for the seat? He said, I don't know. I said,
he did not know.
He didn't know.
If he didn't know, that means no.
And so I said to him, I said, right now, one just passed. It's going to be hit hard with the sympathetic vote.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't bother with it. I said,
I wouldn't do it.
Wait for the general election. Put together your platform and go about preparing yourself.
What do y'all think about this? In the event that Brian Brown loses, or he's unsuccessful, let's not call it lose to make it seem like this kind of a great defeat. If he's unsuccessful in being able to capture the victory come next week Monday, right? By next week Tuesday morning, we can be having this conversation. Do you believe that his political career is over? I don't think he have the grace. I don't think the Free National Movement will give him the grace.
Are we doing it?
I don't think the Free National Movement will give him the grace that they have given Dwayne Sands. Do you believe that his political career is coming to an abrupt?
I don't think it. But I think it's just too much. If it were me and I was Michael Pender, I would not have contested the seat. I would have saved the results for the general election.
That horse already then gone. That already then gone.
I don't think his career will be over. I do believe though at the end of the day, we have to now recruit resources for the general election. Brian Brown is going to lose. Brian Roll is going to lose. The machinery is already in place. The PLP can put a cut up on all of them. And then at the end of the day, Lincoln is going to freak out and his lip is going to get smaller. And so at the end of the day, you're not going to see big lip anywhere for a while. And so until all this subsides, I would let's wait till next week Tuesday. Elections on Monday. I got a
wait
lot
till
of work
next
to
week
do in my
Tuesday.
office.
Let's
take
wait
the
till next week Tuesday.
You are bigger than me. My office was a vote.
I just bringing that same Wendy's you trying to throw on me, right?
I don't eat Wendy's. I didn't like the name Wendy. I don't like one of the Wendy's. I want caviar.
Caviar. Sir, you'll get caviar next week. 600 votes to go to Brian Roll, I guarantee you. Even
Okay,
if
buddy.
I have to go kill the fish myself and got the row, I guarantee you'll get it. Huh? 600
All right, my friend.
votes? If he gets 600 votes, that changes the dynamics of the entire election cycle. Everybody got to go back to the drawing board. Everybody.
Listen, all the best to you guys. Until next week Tuesday.
Yes.
We can see you later.
All right.
Listen, man, we can have a good conversation about this. In the event that these things happen, Brian Rowe captures more than 500 votes. The PLP has to rethink their approach to how they've done these particular things. Let's look at West Grand Bahama. In West Grand Bahama, Ricardo Grant.
The PLP will win by 1,000 or 1,500.
I hear you say that yesterday. I thought you was gone.
Okay.
I hear you say that yesterday. And I
Good day,
say,
everybody.
I said to myself, the fella said, no man, I said this. I said, the fella said, no man, Adrian, this boy got to win comfortably. He got a list, but 2,000 votes he got to win by. How?
From what you were saying.
How?
Too big to rig. Too big to rig.
Let me ask you this question, Howard. How many people they said estimated voted in the
by-election?
Early poll, yeah, early polling.
238.
So they had 283 that was eligible.
No, 283 was eligible. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but how many voted actually? So
the numbers I get off the record, the numbers I get, 99 is 180, 190, about 200, about 200.
So it tells you that the electorate, even so far, they are unhappy, but they just, like you said, some person said, hold their nose and just scratch. But majority of them, the rest of them didn't actually take advantage of it, even though they were eligible. I hope this don't be a sign moving forward into the general election, because if you notice at the last election we had, even though the administration of Dr. Minnis lost, but if you look at the actual votes in itself, they lost in seats. But if you look at the actual total in votes that separated them, they were very close. And also look at the voters turnout. This is probably the last election we had was one of probably the lowest voters turnout in the history of elections in our country. And it's becoming to the point whereby, like Adrian said, like 1,500. With the administration now, with everything in there, because people said, oh, they got the whole cabinet. I say, no, that is not the cabinet of the Bahamas. That is the machinery of the PLP.
Sir.
Because they're not representing the country.
The machinery of the PLP happened to be the cabinet of the Bahamas simultaneously.
No, not according to the Constitution.
Two could be the same. Well, the House is not prorogued.
No, I didn't say the House is prorogued. I'm saying their duty in Golden Isles, it is not representing the job of the administration for the country. That is a political machinery campaigning to maintain a political seat.
Well, that's the responsibility.
Yes.
Now, in West Grand Bahama, before we get out of here, we get about 5 minutes before we get out of here. Let's look at this. In West Grand Bahama, Ricardo Grant got 1,276 votes.
Yes.
Kingsley Smith got 2,150 votes. 2,150 votes.
That's almost half.
Okay. He got blowout by 874 votes. Ricardo Grant get blowout by 874 votes. Gone. Poof. Out the water. He had no time to recover. Out of that, 6,076 people were registered to vote in the constituency. Constituency-wide, 6,076 people were registered to vote. 3,765 people voted.
Yes.
Out of that which equates to 62% of the people overall who actually voted. 2,319 people did not vote.
Yes. tells you that
The constituency of Golden Isles.
It's 8,000, they say.
Let's call it 8,000, because I ain't get them numbers in front of me right now. I got to go back to the Registrar General. I can get them numbers. Okay? Let's call it 8,000 people right now. Out of the 8,000, let's call it 10% is 800, 1% is 80, right? So 80, let's call it 4% is in the Golden Isles advanced poll. Just 4%.
Yeah.
4%. Out of everybody in the advanced poll, more than 50% of the people showed up. Seems as though. Okay? If more than 50% of the people show up in this election next week, that means 44,000 people would vote. Out of the 4,000 people that vote, it ain't no way 600 of them coming to vote. Let me tell you why, because there's no appetite.
Yeah.
There's no appetite. You see, one of the difficulty I have with my wife, whenever I go to a place to get something to eat, okay, so I always go down to my Garden of Eden. I was there on Saturday to Garden of Eden. And I went to see Ephraim. Ephraim was in there. I sat down. He said, Mr. Grant, you want something to eat? I said, no problem. Bring me some. What you want, Mr. Grant? You want stew? I didn't give them my order. I always go there. I sat down and I said, where the boss man? Boss man in here? I said, oh man, I come to talk to Eve. So I said, anyway, you want something? I said, yeah, no problem. You want stew fish, Mr. Grant? I said, yeah. You want meat, right? Yeah. You want Johnny cake? I said, yeah. You want grits? I said, yeah. Yeah.
Eating grits?
Yeah. Every time I go to Garden of Eden, I have the same thing. This is my point to you.
Yes.
Every time my wife go anywhere, she have to feel for something today.
And that's what's happening in this country.
I trying to make you to understand something. My scar falling off. I try to make you to understand something. Let's be clear. The country is Howard Grant. They only do what they've been doing. They only eat what they've been eating. They only travel where they've been going. They only know. Listen, the human beings in the Bahamas only recently stopped calling the United States of America Miami.
Yes.
Every Jesus where we go in the States, Miami. You in Fort Worth, Texas,
Miami.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes. The girl was over there. Listen, I don't go to Miami. I in Fort Lauderdale. She thinks she in a whole different place. This the same place.
You don't go to Florida.
I don't go to Florida. Florida for broke people.
But she in Fort. You're right.
She in Fort Lauderdale. Nobody never explained this to her. All she knew was Miami is the States. Yes. My point to you is that there has never been an appetite. Oh, just only the numbers, you know.
Yeah,
all this is numbers. Numbers saying over the course of the last 2 decades, there has not been an appetite to shift. The closest they get, and I said this, the closest we would have gotten
was the DNA.
Who captured 13% of the votes. Amazing. And they only captured that because of the moment.
Yes.
The man, the moment. Not even the machine, because the DNA had no money.
No.
It was just the momentum.
But you know something happened in all of that, right? I think what has happened in most of these political machinery is you look at it, they jump on the scenery with emotions. And that's like what I was saying to Adrian, that if you want to put yourself and to combat giants, you got to have stickability. And then you also got to recruit that financial backing, because you cannot just sit there. You know, it reminds me of the early days of the FNM where they used to say the chief is a thief. Or you had a gentleman used to be there by Aaron Bailey Park with Mr. Penn with the sign on, balance the budget. He died talking balance the budget. And people don't realize that everyone said, oh, we ready for change. And I said, are you really?
No, you're not. You're a liar.
Yes. And I told him, I said, no.
No, you're not. You're a liar. Yes. The same people I come to, this is the same one Bahamas be living in. I don't know y'all just be pretending like we're in another place. Yeah. You're looking at the television, you're feeling these emotions in your heart, but when it's time for you to step out into the deep, when it's time for you to step out into truth, when it's time for you to step out into the light, You say, well, you know, I got children I got to feed. No, boy, my daughters eat 2 times a day. I got to make sure I keep my job.
Yes.
No, I got a mortgage to pay. I see myself dying no time soon. I can need a place to live. You are afraid of change. You are afraid of different. The first thing you ask Lincoln Bain and anyone who come here, well, what you know about governance? Well, what the hell Perry Christie them did know about any
None of
governance? What Ingram knew about any governance?
None.
What any of them knew about anything other than give me a chance and let me try it. Let's try it. We can try it. Give me a chance. We can do it together.
Bahamians like to play safe. And that's it is sad. 50 years of safeness.
Well, safing can get you nowhere. Guys, it's after 2 o'clock. I want to thank you so much. Next week, Tuesday, God's Spirit Lies. You want to continue this conversation.
Yes,
I love you, and I'd love to have Adrian join us. I'd love to have you and Adrian join us next week, and let's see if we could be able to pull another person in, because it'll be after the by-election, and we will be able to say such and such is the case and be able to move forward with those particular things. But I make no major predictions. I am based upon the numbers I see out there, this is going to be tight. This ain't going to be no easy thing, because they're not fighting against F&M the machine. They're fighting against the persistence of one man. And the F&M now is riding the coattails of Brian Brown. Hold on now, this is a heavy thing what I'm saying to you. The F&M now is building momentum and riding the coattails of the work that has been done by Brian Brown in the constituency. This ain't got nothing to do with the F&M.
No.
Nothing. Nothing to do with the F&M. You understand? Just like how, if you look at Freetown, the momentum that's being built in Freetown by Blue has nothing to do with any political organization.
No.
And that's why he could continue to be able to move forward with those things. You understand? When you see people making authentic, a genuine approach of being able to see this kinetic energy and this momentum move, it's an amazing thing. Guys, as a show today, we're going to be able to do this. Make sure you go check out Kanaz, pop up Kanaz one more last time before we get it here. Make sure you check out Kanaz the 20th and the 22nd. Call the numbers, find out more information about that. The numbers you can be able to call 322-3343, 322-3343. Find out those things. Find out how you can be able to pay that $75, or if you got more than $60 to be able to go down to the hotel on Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Richard, thank you so much for joining us, my brother. On Adrian, I want to thank you so much for joining us again also. We'll see you guys tomorrow, God's Spirit. Tomorrow we're going to have Ian. Ian Munnings is going to be in the studio with us tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So we look forward to having you right here on The Foundation. Have a great day, guys.
For the first time in its 15-year history, a Bahamian Leadership Conference is crossing borders internationally. Our Delano Roker has the details in this report.
Excitement is building as Bahamian delegates prepare to join the Kingdom Invasion National Assignment Summit, founded by faith leader Ambassador Devin Roll. The gathering aims to expand God's will by connecting with believers where they are in today's society.
For too long now, many persons have allowed the church to stay in the four walls, where we pretty much end up entertaining ourselves and missing the fact that Christ, according to John 3:16, died that the entire world might be saved.
That was August. It's November, and we're back home. The Kanaz Bahamas Experience happens Thursday, November 20th, 7 p.m. at the National Baseball Stadium in its Foyer Center. We'll be there Thursday and Friday nights, and then on Saturday, November 22nd, we're back at the Sandals Royal Bahamian Hotel, Cable Beach, at 1 p.m. for the always exciting and informative Kanaz Leadership Conclave. Nights 1 and 2 are free. Registration for Saturday's Leadership Conclave is only $75, with special rates for groups of 5 or more. Conclave package includes the Kanaz Leadership Package, lunch, and a special discount for next year's Kanaz Global Conference in America. Call 1242-323-5907 or see the Kanaz event page on Facebook.
Forget our God, oh no.